Did you know that the penalty for breaching a protection order has been increased? On the first conviction, a fine of $50,000 and imprisonment for 1 year. Second conviction, a fine of $150,000 and imprisonment for 3 years. Subsequent convictions, a fine of $250,000 and imprisonment for 5 years. You have the power to change the script. If you or someone you know is in need of help, contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-SAVE. That's 800-7283. This message brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs.
How can you make a difference in the life of someone facing domestic violence? Learn all you can about abuse. Teach your loved ones about the signs of a potential victim and an abuser. Actively listen to the victim. Do not judge or give unsolicited advice. And call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-SAVE. That's 800-7283. Don't be an observer. Be a lifesaver. Call 999 or 800-SAVE. Do your part in the fight against domestic violence. Someone's life depends on it.
This was a production of the Office of the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs.
Okay, and a great afternoon to all. And thank you for staying with us. Right now, it's time for that special program being brought to you with the kind compliments of Miss Wendy H. Lewis. It's time for A Woman's Worth. Miss Wendy H. Lewis is an ordained minister at Warriors Assembly, Growing Church Breakthrough Ministries International under Apostle/Bishop and Prophet Dr. Dexter James, an author, certified protocol officer, corporate trainer, mentor, motivational speaker, radio and television host, communications and marketing strategist. Minister Wendy H. Lewis also owns and manages the Trinidad and Tobago Corporate Training Academy, formerly the Trinidad and Tobago School of Protocol, and is the chair and direct manager of Caribbean Women Honors and Empowerment, Trinidad and Tobago chapter. Minister Wendy is a skilled and thorough researcher, articulate communicator, all-rounded achiever with strong business acumen, focused, resourceful, multitasker who is spiritually grounded with a high motivation to succeed. Joining the I-95 family with her program, A Woman's Worth, let's welcome Minister Wendy H. Lewis. Minister Wendy, welcome.
Hi, Cameron. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon
to Trinidad and Tobago, our listening public. And today is International Women's Day.
Oh, yes. By the way, I'm so sorry. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And before I go in, I have some greetings from our NGO and stuff, but we have a special guest online, and our special guest is none other than the Honorable Ayanna Webster Roy, Member of Parliament for Tobago East, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs, responsible for the National AIDS Coordinating Committee and Central Administration Services. Honorable Minister, good afternoon and welcome to I-95.5, A Woman's Worth.
Good afternoon, Wendy. Good afternoon, Cameron. Good afternoon to all those who are listening on. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Office of the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs. Happy International Women's Day. I want to encourage us all to choose the challenge so that we can build back better.
Thank you so much. Thank you for agreeing to join us. I know today is probably one of your busiest days. So, Honorable Minister, you know, the theme for International Women's Day this year is Choose to Challenge. What's the next challenge you face as the Minister in eradicating gender-based violence?
Okay, so Wendy, we have been doing a lot of work at the Office of the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs. But one of the challenges that I face and the team would face consistently is helping to get that buy-in from the citizenry. So the hashtag that is aligned to International Women's Day 2021 asks us to choose to challenge. So I choose to challenge all of Trinidad and Tobago to really buy into the narrative that we are putting out there about ending gender-based violence in Trinidad and Tobago. We need all of Trinidad and Tobago speaking the same language
Yes.
as it pertains to ending violence against women and girls. For example, even though we would have ended child marriages in Trinidad and Tobago, we'd have enacted laws to abolish child marriages, we still have reports coming in of some religious organizations still practicing child marriages. We still have reports coming in of some religious organizations and some individuals saying it's okay to continue child marriages in Trinidad and Tobago, even though government would have done its part by enacting the law and would have done its public education and sensitization. We also have some families, socializing the children to believe that boys are more valuable than girls and that boys should have more rights. But we all know that our Constitution guarantees each and every citizen certain basic human rights. So the challenge I face, the challenge we face as a government, as policymakers, is getting that buy-in. So I choose to challenge all of Trinidad and Tobago to join us, support all efforts, and let us speak the same language.
And that is a cry.
Trinidad and Tobago could only become a better place if we value and respect all our citizens, including our women and our girls.
Yes, I totally agree with you. We do have a social responsibility as individuals, communities, schools, workplaces, churches, etc. And I mean, the cry has gone out, and I will definitely be, repeating the call as we go along with A Woman's Worth. Honorable Minister, what advice will you give to our women today? Just women.
Our women out there today, I want to, as I would have said it over the weekend, to challenge a woman to use her power of influence for good.
Yes.
We are influential beings. Women, we have the ability to influence, but let us use it for good. Let us examine how we socialize and raise our sons and daughters and really consider, are we sending mixed messages? Are we saying to our daughters, it's okay to be vulnerable, and saying to our sons, you shouldn't be vulnerable? Are we sending mixed messages? Because that is part of the problem. Let us use our ability to influence. We are the nurturers, the carers, primarily. Let us help to shape the minds of our children so they grow up to feel confident and comfortable in their own skins and go out into society well-rounded individuals who respect themselves and respect others. So let us use our power of influence for good. We are leaders in our own right.
I like that because, it ties into the theme, choose to challenge, because life is a reflection of the choices we make, and you really have to choose to say, to do, to become. And also, what would you say to girls, young girls? What would you say to young girls today?
I would say to girls the same thing I would say to my daughters and my niece. You have a right to be. You have a right to be as bold as you want to be as brave as you want to be as powerful as you want to be. No one can take away your right to be unless you give them the authority to. Don't surrender your right to be. That is what I want to tell all little girls out there. You have a right to be. Be anything you want to be as powerful as you want to be. Hold on to that right.
And that ties in perfectly to A Woman's Worth. What would you say, Honorable Minister, is a woman's worth? Because that's the theme of our program. What's your take on A Woman's Worth?
You know what, Wendy? We are the cornerstone. We are the essence of society. You can't have a society without a woman. But even though I'm saying that, I want men to understand that even though we are advocating and demanding our rights to be respected and promoted and protected, it doesn't mean in any way that we want to threaten or devalue our men. But we women, we are the essence of our society.
I totally agree with you. Honorable Minister, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Closing comments?
Yes, I want to leave a message for men as well. I want to remind men, even as we celebrate International Women's Day, that they don't have to feel threatened by women advancing or demanding equality. There's a reason why God took a rib bone to create a woman.
Yes.
I believe that is because we were meant to be at his side.
That's right.
And I want to encourage men to join us in the fight for equality, join us in choosing to challenge the systems, the stereotypes, the norms, and the values that help to undermine women's rights. Don't feel threatened, but feel as though you're empowering another part of you so that collectively we can contribute towards our nation's economic development and towards, stabilizing our society.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I hope you have an amazing day and stay safe. I know you have a long list of engagements today, so thank you so much again for taking the time to join us on A Woman's Worth. God bless you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. God bless.
Thank you. Cameron, how are you?
I'm great over here.
So let me bring some greetings from Caribbean Women Honors and Empowerment, an NGO that I lead. I want to say good afternoon to all my directors, Mr. Rondell Donovan, Miss Marsha Bailey, Miss Adeline Kwamina, Miss Oslin Williams. I want to say a pleasant good afternoon to all my directors who have been working tirelessly behind the scenes. And today is International Women's Day. And every year we seem to celebrate International Women's Day, and we keep saying that some of the same messages repeatedly. And I really love the theme for this year, which is choose to challenge, because life is a reflection of the choices we make. And anything that has happened to us, good, bad, or indifferent, we have had a part to play, indirectly or directly. So it's an opportunity for us to make better choices. And to challenge, you need strength. You need strength to challenge anything, regardless of what that might be. You need strength. So I'm glad that women are being empowered to challenge the status quo, because as the Honorable Minister rightfully said, we do have a social responsibility to challenge. And the ministry has been doing a lot of things in terms of legislation, etc. But we as individuals have a social responsibility to challenge. And we're going to take a break. We're going to talk some more, and then we have another special guest. We have a tight program this afternoon.
Yes, we'll be back.
Did you know that children who see, hear, or experience the effects of violence in the home are also victims themselves? Did you know that children who witness domestic violence or are victims of abuse are at serious risk of long-term physical and mental health problems? Did you know that children who witness violence between their parents have a greater risk of being violent in their future relationships or getting into relationships where they themselves become victims? As a parent, it can be difficult to protect your children in the face of an abusive partner. Remember, help is available. Call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-SAVE, that's 800-7283, to find out how you can protect yourself and your family.
This message brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister, Gender and Child Affairs.
Trinidad and Tobago Corporate Training Academy is offering all its courses online. Yes, it's for your convenience. Courses include customer services, corporate protocol and etiquette, communications and emotional intelligence, Christian counseling workshop, leadership and governance, entrepreneurship, public speaking, and much, much more, with a host of qualified facilitators. For further inquiries, visit our website at www.tttcorporatetrainingacademy.com. Let all things be done decently and in order.
Okay, great. So we're back.
Yes, we are. And we have another guest on the line. And this is Pastor Marlon Bascombe. He is from CariMAN, which is Caribbean Male Action Network. And he's also an ordained pastor at Warriors Assembly Growing Church Breakthrough Ministries International. Cameron, I decided to have a male perspective on a woman's worth. We're talking International Women's Day, and I don't ever want people to think that International Women's Day is about feminism, because it's not. It's about equal rights for women in certain areas, etc. We know that the man is the head of the home. We have that spiritual component covered, but there are things that we have been deprived of based on our sex, and we are rallying for gender equality as well. But I wanted to get a male perspective, because I know that the NGO that Pastor Marlon leads as well has some very interesting initiatives. So we want to invite people to be very interactive as well. And after we speak to Pastor Marlon, we can also open the lines, etc. So Pastor Marlon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for having me. Happy International Women's Day to all the ladies.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So tell us a bit about CariMAN, first of all.
Really briefly, CariMAN is a regional network of individuals and organizations working on transforming masculinities and engaging men and boys to promote gender equality. We would have started in 2006, where Dr. Peter Weller had the first male conference, Man Talk, in Jamaica. And since then, as an organization, we would have grown significantly. In 2010, we were legally incorporated in Trinidad and Tobago, and we expanded the network across 12 Caribbean countries, including Delhi. In the past, we would have partnered with Women, UNFPA, CariCAM, PAHO, and the UNDP, and we continue to have partnerships with various entities, both local, regional, and international.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My co-host is Cameron Fisher, who is here with us, and he will be chiming in as well. The theme for International Women's Day this year is Choose to Challenge. And I just had the Honorable Minister, Ayanna Webster Roy, on air as well. And I want to ask you the same thing. What are some of the challenges you're facing as an NGO as it relates to the gender equality that you would have just described?
Well, the main thing is that considering the levels of violence that have been taking place, we continue to be challenged to change stereotypes, to change ideologies. We live in a country and in a society that continuously promotes violence, for example, through its music. And so it's difficult sometimes to flip that, to showcase the ways in which we need to be careful of how we engage, be careful of how we interact, so that the violence that we see is less easily accessed by men in particular, unfortunately, but by all of us.
What sort of education are you giving to the men who come to your organization as it relates to how they treat with women?
Well, we engage a lot of the times in partnerships in various projects and programs. Right now, particularly in light of the recent death of Andrea Barrett as well as Ashanti previously, we have launched on the 1st of this month a men's pledge, right? And the men's pledge is essentially a commitment to improve the ways in which we think and behave. And so we know it's not going to solve everything, but we are trying to call out our brethren, for want of a better word, to speak to them to understand the ways in which we should behave. So men can go on to CariMAN.org to sign on to the pledge, and I'll just read a couple of them. One is to respect consent. Another is to value what women say. And yet another is to hold other men accountable for their actions. Right?
Okay. And how long are these programs? For how long? What's the duration of these programs?
Well, the men's pledge, you can sign on to it. It's going to run continuously. And we do different things. So some things may run a cycle for maybe 6 weeks, or we would engage in partnership with other organizations for continuous mentoring and different things with our various partners, which has, as I said, included UN Women, the Coalition Against Domestic Violence. We're going to continue to do these things.
Okay.
One of the things I like, the third thing you said, hold other men accountable.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when men are abusive, not necessarily physically only, but verbally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, etc., men tend to be the backup singers. Yeah, I'm making you macho. Yeah, if it was me, I would have done this, and you take that, and you know how the language goes. So I like the fact that men are holding other men accountable, because it's not okay and it's not acceptable. And we have to have one voice. One of the things the Honorable Minister said, which stuck with me, was that we need to use our ability to influence. And if each one of us step up to the plate and each one of us, drive the message home, the message will spread across and the statistics will drop, because it's been decades, Pastor Marlon, we have been advocating for a reduction in gender-based violence, a reduction in recognition of how we treat women, our sisters. And the gender-based violence goes both ways as well. But it's for decades we've been crying the same cry, the tears getting longer, and something needs to give.
Yes, it's really important. We definitely believe men and boys should also be advocates for gender, social, and environmental justice. Mm-hmm. That particular aspect of the pledge is specifically designed to encourage men to interrupt other men who are using hateful behavior or speech, and not tolerate even inappropriate jokes and so on about women or around women. Right? It's very important to us to allow our sisters, all the women in society, to be safe. That extra level of precaution that women take as opposed to men when they leave their homes, that's not something that should be happening or should even be considered allowable. And so as far as possible, even through awareness projects and things such as the Men's Pledge, we want to encourage men to provide that safe space or to not contribute to any levels of danger towards our women or to add to gender-based violence in particular, in general.
That is awesome, because one of the things, I'm assuming that when the men receive this information, they will pass it down to their boys. Because boys have been taught, at least back in the 70s, 80s, to cry is not a good thing. So men have been taught to suppress their emotions, and then they let it out in different ways. So I'm really glad to hear that the men are being educated, and then they can take that information home to their boys, because we need the boys. Because to break a tree as a big man is a hard task, which is why we have a challenge. But if we start grooming from boys, then we guaranteed at least a little bit more to have better men.
Definitely.
Okay, so how do we get in contact with you?
Right. So persons can go onto the website, CariMAN.org. You can also send us an email at CariMANSecretariat@gmail.com.
Is that supposed to C or a K?
C.
Yeah.
It's a C.
With a C. Right? CariMAN secretariat@gmail.com or CariMAN.org.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Pastor Marlon, for joining us.
No
Thank you so much for your greetings. Thank you for the information on CariMAN. And I will definitely be sharing some stuff on my website as well. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Cameron,
yes.
talk to me.
I want to know what a day like today, it's International Women's Day. What does today means to you, other than Happy International Women's Day?
Exactly. Well, for me,
what does it mean?
The journey continues, because what I'm doing today is what I do every single day. I advocate really for the rights of women as part of my NGO as well. This is my third engagement for the day. I was at an event earlier this morning in Shogunas, and the language continues. We really need to keep sending the message. So for me, this is not a one-off. I do this all the time. But specifically today, I think it's a collaborative effort nationwide that we all speak the same language and we all say, Happy International Women's Day, and then United Nations partners, and they give us a theme and we rock with that theme for the day. It doesn't end today for me. For me, this is advocacy for 365 days of the year to partner with the ministry, other NGOs, to ensure that our girls feel safe. Our girls need to feel safe. I mean, a lot of them have gone. And what do we say? What do we say to the Ashantis? What do we say to those who have been brutally murdered and taken away from society? We can't speak to them anymore because they've gone. So now we have to speak to those who are here. Remember the Girls' Code. It's International Women's Day. Be a sister's keeper. Men recognize that you have a queen. This is not a floor cloth. This is a queen. This is a helper. So we want to just keep the message going that you must recognize your worth. Because when we recognize our worth, there are things we will not accept. We have to set the boundaries. We have to choose to challenge. So if you're having a conversation with a guy and he tends to raise his voice, there's no need for you to raise your voice. The tone doesn't, no. There's no need to raise your voice. We're here. We can have a civilized conversation. But then you have to ask the question, why would he feel the need to raise his voice? Which is what CariMAN is helping us do. So I like the fact that we have CariMAN dealing with the men, we have the ministry and other NGOs dealing with the women, and it's a collaborative effort because social responsibility is key. Really, really key.
Okay. Well, just in case anyone would like to be part of the discussion, the numbers to call 622-3937. I'm here with Miss Wendy H. Williams.
Lois.
Miss Lois, wow.
That's okay. A lot of people make that mistake because Wendy's on TV as well. That's okay. That's okay. Yes. I mean, just continuing the dialogue as well. Mm-hmm. I want to reiterate that the conversation goes beyond today. Let it not be a one-off. It's not Christmas. This is a serious message that needs to be repeated across the globe. We deserve better. We're working towards better. And this is not, I want to say this bit too, this is not a pity party day for women. Because we've come a long way. We have definitely come a long way. We are CEOs, we are presidents, we are prime ministers, we are directors, we are ministers in the kingdom, we are teachers, we are doctors, we are lawyers. We are so many things that society said that we weren't supposed to be. So we've made strides. So someone has gone before and put things in place for us. We just need to maintain it and believe in ourselves. If you want to be a hairdresser, be the best hairdresser there is. Nail tech, that's entrepreneurship. I know nail techs that earn more than I do, with all my qualifications and experience and all the rest of it. So no job is a disgrace as long as you're earning an honest and legal living. So I want to encourage women as well today to find your gifts, because your gifts is what make room for you. You can be an entrepreneur. You can be a business owner. No, long ago, that's what they used to say. Get a good government job. Get a good job. This is after the era of not having the job, and because being at home and cooking, all that's work as well. So the language has changed over the years, and we need to recognize our worth. We can do it. We can do it. Long ago, we used to have a lot of male teachers. I was a lecturer at Atalogjak as well. We're doing stuff, and we choose to challenge. I really choose to challenge. I like the fact that I have my cousin is part of a business where it's only female. It's a female-run business, and they're dealing with building and contracting and landscape, and it's only women.
Only women.
Only women. And I'm like, yes. I know of a female plumber. You have female mechanics. You have women doing things. Okay. It's not a competition. It's just that we're capable. We're not trying to compete with you. We're not trying to go before you. But we definitely don't deserve to be in the back. We came from the side for a reason. So know your worth.
Do you feel we are, as men, are threatened by, all the stuff that a woman can do?
I wouldn't say, I can't speak for all the men. But some men who don't know their worth will feel threatened by a woman's worth. Once you know your worth as a man, a woman's worth will not threaten you. You will build each other. You'll build each other up. But as I said, I can't speak for all men, but some men, based on their cultural upbringing, based on religion, based on so many different things, feel intimidated by another woman based on what they've been taught. But there's no need. There's no need. We can do this together. We can work together and build this thing out. There's no need for anyone to be envious or feel. And I think communication is key. Communication is a master key. Because if you have homes where the woman is working and the man is not. Yeah. But that doesn't make the man less. He's still the head of the home according to kingdom principles, which I live by.
How do we start that communication if we haven't spoke for a while? How do we make that, who's going to make the first move?
When you say who's going to make, in what respect?
In terms of, like you said, communication, like.
So, you see, we can't point fingers either. Yeah. We can't even say, well, you're supposed to make the move or I'm supposed to make the move. Once you recognize your worth, make the move. Have the conversation and have the conversation in peace and love. And, sometimes we tend to use our tone to demonstrate power. You can be a silent powerhouse. You don't need to raise your voice to make a point. You don't need to slam the desk to make a point. You don't need to wave a knife or a gun to make a point. We can have a civilized conversation, but the conversation has to start when somebody communicates. Somebody has to start it. And the other party now has to be receptive, but you can only be receptive by choice. You have to choose to recognize that this is a joint effort, and you are not speaking to me to undermine me, but you're speaking to me to uplift me and empower me.
Okay, well, we're out of time for today, and it's been great as usual.
It's been tight. Yeah, today was tight because I really wanted to have a male perspective, and of course, the Honorable Minister. I know we would have played the ad for the Trinidad and Tobago Corporate Training Academy.
Yeah.
I just want to say that they are hosting a 2-day public speaking and presentation workshop on Monday the 22nd and Tuesday the 23rd of March at NIPDEC, 56 to 60 St. Vincent Street in Port of Spain, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Cost $24.95 TT. Group discounts available. Feel free to go on the website www.tttcorporatetrainingacademy.com, or there's a Facebook page as well, the Trinidad and Tobago Corporate Training Academy. You participants will be educated on the 7 elements of public speaking: communication styles and benefit, communication barriers, breathing techniques, removing the fear factor, and so much more. Because we aim to edify, educate, and empower. Okay. So this has been a tight and awesome session, a woman's worth.
Once again, happy International Women's Day to all the women of the world.
Thank you so much, and I really want to say happy International Women's Day to all the women at Warriors Assembly, Growing Church Breakthrough Ministries International, all our members of Caribbean Women Honors and Empowerment, past students of the Trinidad and Tobago Corporate Training Academy, everyone who's locked on and listening. Happy International Women's Day to you, and remember the theme for 2021 is Choose to Challenge. God bless you. Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Trinidad and Tobago Corporate Training Academy is offering all its courses online. Yes, it's for your convenience. Courses include customer services, corporate protocol and etiquette, communications and emotional intelligence, Christian counseling workshop, leadership and governance, entrepreneurship, public speaking, and much, much more, with a host of qualified facilitators. For further inquiries, visit our website at www.tttcorporatetrainingacademy.com. Let all things be done decently and in order.